G'day brothers and sisters. Recently I just made a video going over the top 5 things I love about Siege mode. It's now, however, time to talk about the things that I hate. I don't really want to do this video. I don't really do like those kind of videos where I talk about in a negative way. But look, I love this game, Space Marine 2, and I've been so excited for Siege mode since the day I heard about this game. I saw that on their roadmap. I am really excited for this mode, but I also appreciate nothing is going to be perfect when it comes out in relation to a game. We all have our own desires and our own thoughts and everything like that, which we would like for the game. I've put over 100 hours so far in the PTS. While that's not a huge number compared to many, it's still a significant number considering that I am a very casual player in many respects in terms of my availability of time, given with family and everything like that. And I can tell you these are some of the sort of frustrating things to me, but these are things that I've also discussed with other people, and they also feel the same. But there are other things that I'm not mentioning here. These are just my personal top 5. So in saying that, brothers and sisters, please leave your comments. Tell me what you don't like about this game mode when you get to start playing it, if you haven't already been playing it on the PTS. I would really love to hear, and I think if we can get enough views, we can get enough comments happening here, enough discussion, maybe or hopefully the devs will watch this video and will encourage them to improve this game mode that we're all gonna love, I believe, in time. And I think this is a great opportunity to see this game grow and have even more and more people playing. So I'm going to be really passionate about these things. I'm going to talk about these 5 things, and I'm not going to say that they can't be fixed. I'm going to also offer some ideas that I think I have. They could be completely wrong. Again, mention them in the comments. Love to hear your thoughts. But these are the 5 things that I don't like at all. And here's some of my thoughts on what we could do to fix them. All right. First one. This is an elephant in the room, guys. This is a massive one. And it's been talked about a lot. So I don't want to harp on about it too much, because it is possible on launch that this is fixed. So I'm only going to mention here very quickly, but the timeout. If the timeout is not fixed, this is going to be a massive problem for the enjoyment of the game. Because really, you get beaten by a timeout, not by the sheer fact that you get killed. You get beaten by a timeout, and that's because there's some issue with the game and the ability for it to stay stable and not crash on players, in particular consoles. The devs have said that they will fix this, so I'm hoping that this one goes, because this is the biggest glaring problem. All other things, I think, you know, we'll kind of get through, we'll work our ways through them. This one really needs to be fixed. All right, number 2. Now this one I hope they fix pretty soon in some capacity. I have some ideas on how they can fix it, but this one is actually really bad as well. It's not as bad as the timeout, but it's bad. 3 hell brutes, brothers and sisters. 3 hell brutes. You already know how painful and annoying 1 hell brute is. Then you go to 2 hell brutes, and you're thinking, this can't be good when we get to 3. You're right, it's not. It's really rough. You can get through it. You will be able to get through it, but it will be hard and it won't always be enjoyable. Now, there's a few reasons for that, and I would say that right at the core of it is that obviously Hellbrutes were made for the operations map, which you were only going to face 1 of them at a time. So facing 3 Hellbrutes, for example, the plasma cannon on the Hellbrute is particularly nasty as well when there are 3 of them, because all 3 of them can fire at you at the same time, and they can even shoot through each other. And if they don't even just shoot through each other all together at the same time, if they shoot at you independently, you can get double staggered and just dead, just because you didn't pay attention to that 1 plasma cannon. And sometimes that plasma cannon can hit you when you're in the middle of fighting something else, and the dreadnought just decides to turn around or just look to the left a bit or right a bit and then just shoot you without you even having any idea that it's coming. That is also not even the worst of the Hellbrute. The worst is when 3 of them teleport right in front of you and throw their hammer down and knock you down and then kill you, because you cannot get back up in time with all 3 of them throwing the hammer down and staggering you. It is terrible. It is very painful to deal with, and there's only a few classes that can really deal with them quite effectively on their own. So if your teammates go down in this situation, you can't even kite around really to get out there and pick them up. It's a very, very, very tough battle, in the fact that I would say many people will probably rage quit when they first face 3 of them. But brothers and sisters, if you're watching this before you do that, please bear in mind that we've all been there. It's frustrating, it's difficult, but I have been through it enough times to tell you that you can get through it. You will figure it out, and I will talk about that in another video. Some of the best ways to deal with it. One of them is obvious one, Valtus, calling in our own dreadnought, but it is not the only way. I think that these guys, the Hellbrutes, they need to be nerfed in how soon they can teleport. What does that mean? Well, that means if one of them teleports, then there should all be a bit of a cooldown, and the cooldown or the ability to teleport again for any of them should also be increased. So say you're in the middle of fighting them and there's all 3 of them around, and one of your other brothers are up somewhere else on the map. They decide, that Hellbrute decides, I'm going to teleport. Okay, so it teleports. There should be maybe up to a 5-minute cooldown for that dreadnought, and maybe half the amount of time for any other dreadnoughts that are on the map as well. Okay, what that means is now you're going to actually split them up as well. So it's actually also going to be more difficult for the players, because if people have melters and other splash weapons like plasma cannons, it's going to be a little bit tricky to deal with. But you are separating them, so they're not clumping up together, which is good, because they technically shouldn't really be clumping up. Obviously, if you want to maintain this idea of being consistent to the lore, then remove that. Reduce their cooldown to teleport, and also change their behavior to not teleport all to the same location. I don't imagine these things should be very hard to implement, but I don't believe that the teleport ability should be as soon as it is. And one other thing that's not just tied to the Hellbrute, but do something about the double staggers. We need this gone. Double staggers is just absolutely terrible for the game. Those are one of those 2 things that we just said are already just massive ones, and I think that they can, if they fix this, we'll actually be in a much better place for dealing with them. And I don't want to make it easy, but this isn't about being easy right now. This is actually frustratingly almost broken with how bad it is to deal with these. It's not really fun. It's just really, really painful. And I hope the new Terminus for Chaos might actually fix this. But there are some tweaks I still think that they should make here, particularly around when they can teleport. All right, number 3, economy. I feel like the economy right now has a great many flaws that are exacerbated when you get into the higher waves. What do I mean by that? Well, if you play this long enough, you'll start to notice that by greater waves than 20, even if you've done a lot of your challenges throughout, you're going to be running pretty low on requisition, because the waves do not really give you many, and even if you do the bonus objectives, you're still not really getting that many. And that by wave 25, particularly in hard mode, you're going to be pretty short on being able to buy much. And that's even if you don't even buy Valtus. You can probably make it to wave 27, 28 and still be able to call in a Marine. But you are going to be struggling after that, because you're going to be needing taking choices between getting ammo, health, potentially guardian relics, getting the Marines, which ones you're going to do. You're going to be scraping the barrel. And the game, I believe, is designed to do that, because obviously it wants you to be all be dead by 27, 28, and probably 30 at the latest. However, I don't think this is a great mechanic for a wave-based game. It should be about you getting killed, not about dealing with requisition and managing requisition. It has to be a component, but it should be 20% of the challenge, or even less, maybe 10% of the challenge. We should be given so many materials or resources to fight the enemies of the Emperor that while we do have a ability to be responsible with those resources, we don't need to be worried about it to get through every wave. We should have just enough, or maybe a little bit more, but if we played stupidly, we'd get punished for it, particularly in hard mode. And that's the same as operations. Typically, you will have slightly more than enough to get through, but if you are really crazy with it, wasting the ammo, you'll be struggling to get through. So you still have to think about it and do well with your ammo economy. Look, there is a few things that they could do to the economy, which I believe would do a great job at improving it, but it's not really something that I can discuss in this video. It's a bigger discussion because it involves classes and quite a few changes that I believe that they would have to make. So I won't talk about that, but look for my video where I talk about the economy in a variety of ways and how they could improve it. But feel free to leave a comment on what you think about the economy after you've been playing Siege mode for a bit. 4 and 5, my last two, I'm going to combine the two because I really think they're basically a joint problem. There are basically 3 different areas that we all get to play in as we progress through the Siege map, and these are really well designed maps and they're really fun. However, the size of them, the way they're designed, they kind of really lend towards a certain types of classes, setups, etc, etc. When I say setups, I'm talking about the classes and the weapons and the perks and all that kind of stuff. When I think of horde mode, I also think, or siege mode effectively, I kind of think of a place where you're defending, a bit like Inferno when they're all coming at you at the end there, or Decapitation when you're on the bridge and you got like these massive hordes charging at you. I want to have those kind of moments as well, and that leads well to heavy bolter, leads more to some range weapons. I want to see big wave attacks like that where we get to shoot them from a distance and where they can't easily come up from behind of us. I want to be facing them head on and not worry about waves opening up always from behind me. Whilst I do appreciate and like having that challenge as well, I want to see maps where we are actually like defending a fort or something like that, and they're only coming from a certain way. Like when you think about this first map and you think about right at the start there on the left side, when you're kind of looking down, if you were just more that you were just looking down, you were seeing them come at you front onwards and you were getting to shoot at them, and then they finally scaled over the top. Those are the kind of scenes I would love to see in siege mode, and those are the kind of scenes you kind of think about in Space Marine when you read the books. I think when they make these class map changes, I think classes and what you would choose are also going to change, and that's the exciting part as well for this game. So I look forward to Saber developing some new siege maps, and that will help encourage different ways to play siege mode, different classes that are good, and give you overall variety, just like the operations maps do. Well, brothers and sisters, that's my top 5 things that I love about siege mode and the top things I really don't like. I would love to hear in the comments what your top 5 is, or even just 1 or 2 of these things are. Please do share your thoughts, and I hope this video has been helpful. If it has been helpful or enjoyable for you, please do hit that like and subscribe button. That would really help me to grow and improve this channel. Thank you so much, brothers and sisters, for your support, and I look forward to seeing you out there on the battlefield. Courage and honor.